Welcome. This is a launch video for my Faith Windows kit for September 2025. It's number 23. And we are going to be diving into Unwavering Faith. So if you're new to my channel, I'm Diane, and I created the Faith Windows series of junk journal Bible study kits with the thought process that it's so much fun to make junk journals, but let's infuse them with faith. And so I've written a 7-verse Bible study that's very doable. You could do it one day and take a week. You could do a couple verses a day, but you get to make these beautiful junk journals, which I show you in my videos. So I walk you through that. And my kits are just full of ephemera and beautiful papers that you can use over and over again and make lots of journals. So why are we going to look at faith this month? You know, faith, people talk about like have faith, and they throw that word around, but it's not just a belief. It's actually a living, active trust in God, and that transforms our lives. You know, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. Of course, that's Hebrews 11:1. And you know, the world today is filled with so much uncertainty and fear, right? Every day when you look at the TV or listen, you know, there's war happening all over the world. It's just a very disconcerting time right now. And so let's cultivate a deep, abiding faith in God. Not just as like, oh, I did this fun thing as a spiritual exercise, but really, I hope that these 7 verses will just open the door to a pathway for you to peace, God's power, and God's purpose in your life. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at in here. And what I do in my kits is I make a kit a vertical kit. And then I always go and make horizontal pages, okay? So that's why I have 2 stacks right here. Now, I want to tell you, you definitely should print this first page, and here's why. Because I walk you through best print results options. So I always put that in there. For this page, if you print it on this, so that you get these beautiful journals like I'm going to show you, okay? Now, there's always a 2-page Bible study, as I mentioned. There's the verse, there's some insight, there's a reflection question. Sometimes I do application questions, but it just gives you the chance to go look up the verse, do some research, and if you watch the upcoming videos for this one, or go back and look at my other Faith Windows, what you will see is I walk you through how to do Bible study. Maybe you're brand new and you don't even know how to do that. And then I type up the Bible verses, and you can't see it here, I didn't print it. This is the ESV version, and so many people ask me for the New King James Version. So there's a second page. It looks identical to this way, but the 7 verses are the New King James. If you print it on matte clear sticker paper, you make your own stickers, and you can put it anywhere you want to throughout your journal. And then you always see that I give you some word art, okay? So here's the pages. Now let me flip for 1 second. Oh, and see, now I thought I had them in order, but I guess I don't. Okay, well, whatever. I'll show you the stack in a second. So I just felt faith. I wanted to do this kind of a grungy collage for you, and my style for most of my kits are I do all the collaging for you, so you have all this wonderful interest on your pages, and depending upon how you use each page, you could fold this and make a tall skinny journal, right? You could cut it in half that way, and this page over here, now you can do it in a horizontal. That's why I give you the horizontal, because some of my followers love to make this size of a journal. And so that works that way, okay? So there's one of the pages. So it's like a gray and taupe, and it looks like I sat there and did all this mixed media stuff on it, and lots of lettering. And then there's like some pink, the pinky rosy, lots of lettering. So as I said, these pages are just so luscious to play with because they have so much interest to them, right? Yes, they do. So there's all those gorgeous pages. And then I made this one, and now you can see how, depending on how you want to use it. Maybe you just want a little piece, right? Maybe you want that. So there's some music and some backgrounds. And then I've got the angel wings on there. I just thought that looked really, really good. Here's a beautiful heart. There's a beautiful rose. Here's some more tall strips that you can use. Okay, so let's look over here so that you get to see how does the horizontal version of that look. And it's basically the same, it's just obviously in a different spot, right? So you can see that this is the wide where the angels are. Then you get the whole heart, and then you get the whole flower because I've turned the page. And then there's another really fun page. Again, lots of, I've already done the collaging for you. There's that home page, the front page that I did. There's that one. So you see how you can use this kit to make anything. So you might want to, you make the Faith Windows, do the Bible study, but you could use this to make any kind of a really fun junk journal, okay? So there's all your background pages. I don't want to forget to show you that. And then, as I mentioned, I give you so much ephemera. So this is a piece that you cut and fold, and here's the 2 cards that stick in there. And then those are some really fun little tabs to go on that. And then I decided I wanted to add some women that were representative of faith. And so there's crosses. I've got the crosses on there too. And then there's just some little pockets that you can use. So I give you some belly bands, some more pockets. I give you lots more tags, lots more giant tickets, and then cards that you can stick in. I give you a set of numbers that coordinates with each kit for the 7 verses. Here's some just fun cards. There's some ephemera that you can cut out, different ways the word faith is expressed. Unwavering Faith, that's a beautiful card you can stick in. And then, as I showed you, that if you print the Bible verses on clear sticker paper, you can make them on any page that you want, on any tag. But I also always put them on ATC cards. That way, ATC just means artist trading card. It's a 2.5 by 3.5. So it's already printed for you. So maybe you don't use sticker paper, but it's already printed and you can use them, in that way. And then I've given you some quotes that talk about faith from, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Billy Graham, C.S. Lewis, Elizabeth Elliot. Here's a really pretty fun F that you could do. And then there's the word strips. Now these are typically most of the line from the Bible verses. So there's 7 of those, okay? And then I give you some more word fetty. So these are some of the words that are found in the Bible verses. And a bunch of tickets. See how much of this whole page you can use over and over again. Print it twice. Then I started doing this really fun thing. I now figured out how to make word searches. So I do a topical word search for you that you can stick in your book. Look at my one that I just did. My Freely Forgiven. That's the first one that I put it in. So there's the key in case you need it. And then there's a smaller version. So if you're making this and giving it to somebody, that's kind of a fun thing for them, or you can just do it yourself. And then here are 7 tags. So there's one for each of the verses that you could stick the verses on there. And then in my kits, I always give you 8, I call these Bible verse note cards because it says date and Bible verse. And I've given you a set that coordinates with those papers and then just kind of another fun set. You know what I do? I print these double and then I keep a stack of them from when I'm doing any kind of faith journaling, and I just pull them out and write Bible notes on. Now, I decided to add something new in this kit. Janie from the Crafting Bookworm, who's one of my design team members, she just was making the Freely Forgiven journal this week, and she ended up making this really fun flip journal. And then she used one of my another woman's insert, and so I looked at it and I went, I should just make that, include that. So I did, Janie. I put this in there for you, and I've printed it on both sides. So if you end up making this type of journal, right, when you want to do it that way, then look, here's a piece, and you could just fold this, and then you could sew it into your journal. And I gave you 2 different pieces with 2 different designs, okay? And then I've just copied them on the back. Now, you might say, well, I like skinny journals, Diane. Okay, this is printed at 100%. Just go ahead and print it like at 75, and it'll be much smaller. So I've included this in the kit now. Thanks for the idea, Jamie. So that is what the kit looks like. Next up, I am going to go and cut everything out, and then I have to decide what kind of a journal I'm going to make this time. And so the rest of this video, I will be back, and I will show you the journal that I'm going to make for Unwavering Faith. Well, I have cut out all the parts. They're in a little bin. That's kind of my process. I have a stack of these white ones that I get at Dollar Tree. And I sit at night when I'm watching TV or whatever, and I cut out all the parts. So all the parts for the kit are sitting in here, all cut out and ready, cut, punched. Yeah, well, the only thing I haven't done is edge them. Okay, so that's sitting there. Then I was thinking about what kind of a journal that I would like to make for Unwavering Faith. And I just love this one that I just made for Grace Revealed. I just really like it. Let's look at it again. So it's an accordion, which I really like. And because there's 7 verses, I need 7 spots. So on the front, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the back, I left the back empty, right? And then I have the other 3. Okay, so that's how it works for 7. Then I have this extra space. So you can do a lot of different things with this. And then this is my new thing. Yes, I love to wrap it up with pretty ribbon. So I put a piece of the ephemera to hold the ribbon there so that I don't lose the ribbon. So I'm probably going to do that. Now, but of course, I'm not going to make it exactly the same. I just don't ever do it that way. So 2 things I'm thinking about doing different is, first of all, this is 8 inches high, I think. Yes, it's 8. So I thought, why not make it 9? That would be slightly different. It would appear more like a tall skinny, right? And then we'll do it the same width, and that's fun. And then when I definitely want this fold over. I like this piece. And then on this actually opened up, and then I closed it up, and that's where I put the Bible study in that pocket. And then that became my front cover. So I like that. I just have to think if that's really the way that I want to do this. So when I make these, I usually make myself a template. So that's the finished one. Let's look at, I pulled out the template, and then here's the other thing I do. Now I'm just telling you this because it's a big suggestion. I make so many different styles, and then I have to remember, wait, how did I actually make it? So I sit there when I design it, if it's brand new, and I take a piece of paper and I write it down. So what do you need to make this? You need 2 regular size manila file folders, okay? And I wrote cut off the tabs on both. So this one I had sitting there, and I've already cut that. Excuse me. I've already cut the tabs off that one. I'm gonna get a drink, see if that'll help. So let's cut the tabs off of that one. I mean, with the little one away. Okay, so let's trim this. So we're gonna cut the tabs off of that. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces exactly the same. Oh, look, I cut one wider than the other. Well, that's okay. It won't matter because we're going to refold stuff anyway. Or does it matter? Well, we'll find out real quick, won't we? Okay, so what I wanted to do is I said I'm going to make them 9. Right? So let's go to 9. And we'll trim it. So I got 1 piece at 9. Here's the second one at 9. Okay, now I do not throw these away. Why do I not throw them away? I don't throw these away either because you can use this as a template. If you don't have the punch, that notch punch, just you can draw this on a piece of paper and get your own fun piece, okay? I don't throw these away because here's what I do with these. What if I decide that one of my pieces of ephemera isn't sturdy enough because of whatever paper I printed on? I just glue it on here and then I cut it out. So those are just extra parts. Like I said, I don't throw those away. Okay, so we've got those two. Now let's read what else our notes say. I'm pretty sure what they say. Hold on, I gotta get my scoreboard out. I can't put this all on my desk before I start recording because my desk is not that big. Okay, so what did we say next? Trim height to 8. I trimmed mine to 9. So now I scored it 5, 10, and 5. Cut off the excess. Keep the piece score at 5 and 5.5. Then join the two sets together with masking tape. Okay, I have to get masking tape. So this is the template that I made. Now you can see that because we're going to score it, we're not going to actually use some of the folds that come on the envelope. We're going to make our own, okay? And what do you do with that is you use masking tape. And I go over where it was naturally folded with masking tape on both sides, and that makes it a little bit sturdier. So when I cover it with paper, so you see how I did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I had this little extra piece that we did. And so that all worked fine. So like I said, what I did on the other one is I glued these two together. So now I'm not so sure that's what I want to do. Oh, you know we could do different on this one? Okay, what if we leave the cover, so it'd cover like that, right? And then on this part, instead of closing it up, why don't I just add another piece and make it a big pocket, and that's where I can put the Bible study. That would make it different. Okay, let's do that. So let me get my bone folder out, the pointy one. Let me grab the masking tape. Okay, got the masking tape, got my folders. Are they the same height? Yes, they're just different widths, but that's okay. Okay, so what did we say we're gonna do? Let's put that template away. We're gonna put it on here. We are going to score at 5 because that's how, now you can make yours different. Remember, we're now saying, let me walk you through this. I'm saying I wanted a 5-inch width, okay? So if you fold the 8.5 by 11 paper in half, right, what size is that? Remember how I showed you I made these fun papers because Janie liked that? Okay, if you were to fold this in half, it would be 5.5, right? So I decided I wanted mine 5, but the reality is you can make a 5.5. You can make it whatever you want because we're, working that way. I like it to look a little bit taller, like a tall skinny, but not the tall skinny. Anyway, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm still gonna do what I said. I'm gonna do 5. So I'm gonna, make sure it's all in the corners. And go down here, 5, and I'm gonna do it twice. Okay, now here's where I'm going to have to change this, right? Because there's where the natural fold is. And then we're going to come over to where it's 10. So you see I'm not moving it, okay? Now I'm going to come to the 10. Okay, so here is where I'm going to put tape, right? So let's do a quick fold. Let's do the next fold, okay? And so you can see how it wants to bend. So what we're gonna do, as I said, I just reinforce it. I just put tape on it, and this is just inexpensive tape, masking tape that I get at Dollar Tree. So, and then I wrap it this way. Whoops. Oh yeah, Diane. These are really thin manila folders. So look, I just pulled it and ripped it, so you can tell it's very thin. But the good part is it's actually, you can manipulate it better, okay? There we go. Okay, so now we've got a 5 and we've got a 5, and then this would be, this is going to be the end where we do this part, okay? See how I did that? And what I did was I scored it at, okay, I'm going to score it at 5 and then 5.5. And that 1/2 inch is what you see on here. It's like my own little spine, right? That's a 1/2 inch, and then that's the piece that's left that we're not going to cut off. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go back over here. So we were at 5. So now I'm going to move that over, right? And we're going to come over another 5. So from 5 to 10 would be the next one, which is correct. Okay, and then I'm going to go 1/2 inch. So at 10.5, I'm going to score it. And there we go. Okay, so now I've got this cute little flap. And there we go. So this is the right hand side of it. We're going to add the other parts over on here. Okay, so we've got a 5, we've got a 5. And we're actually probably going to go the other way, isn't it, Diane? It's going to go that way and that way. That's the way it's going to go. Doesn't matter. You can do all this folding. And then there would be our cover. Okay, so that part we've got done. And let's see, we already did that, so we're all set. So let's set this one aside. Let's take our next one. We're going to open it all the way up, and we are going to do another score line at 5, and we'll do the 10. And then what is this? So if you move it over to a 5, let's put that score line at a 5. It's a 10.5. So I'm just going to score it on 10. Hold on. I think what I did is I left that there, and that's what I glued on. Let's just score it while we have it on here at the 10, because I can always trim that little piece off. Okay? I think we're done with this. So let's look at this. Okay, so this is the part we already know. This is our right-hand side. So now we're going to come over here, and on this open edge is where we're going to glue these, we're going to tape these two together. So what I can do, actually, yeah, see, don't cut that off. I'm going to just put it on there, but it like that, which will be perfect. Let's go ahead and tape that. Tape it right onto that little 1/2 inch, right up to the fold line. Put some tape down. Okay, tape, where'd you go? There we go. Turn it over. We'll wrap this over here. We're going to tape that down. And again, don't forget, the way I make these journals, I cover up all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put tape actually on the two parts so that stays down nice. Okay? So now let's get the accordion going the right direction. So we know it comes there. Where's the 5? There's my 5. And this is going to go over here. And that's going to, oh, no. See, it's wrong. Hold on. Is that 5, Diane? Is that what I did wrong? Where's the 5? No, that's right. That's the fold. This is it. Is this 5? Yes, it's 5. On the white. Look. Oh, that's because, look. See, I forgot to fold it on the scored part. That's why I was messing up. This is where we have to tape again. There we go. There. See? Now we got it. Okay. Diane wasn't paying attention because Diane forgot that that was the natural fold line that came on the file folder. So again, we're going to strengthen that so that it doesn't bend as we go to add our papers. So hopefully, I know it's hard to see because the masking tape is the exact same color as the manila folder, but hopefully you're following along. If you have any questions, obviously just ask me in the, in the comments. Go ahead and ask me any questions that you need to ask me. Okay, let's flip that over. We'll bring it over here. We'll reinforce. Yeah, you don't want that folded over part, Diane, because you don't want a lump underneath your paper. And then we will have our journal. Now, I use file folders for everything. I have so many videos about file folders, so check out the rest of my videos. I love them as a base because I love to design what I want to make, right? Of course, with scrapbooking, if you remember, if you were a scrapbooker, we just kind of all made everything the exact same. Whatever you bought an album, right? And so it was 12 by 12, whereas an 8.5 by 11, but you never made really, at least I didn't when I was scrapbooking. You didn't make anything different. That's what I love about junk journaling, is that I get to create all these totally unique and different journals. So I hope that's the part that you like about all of this also. Okay, we are almost done. Oh, I keep having that roll up and then not getting rid of it. I decided that I was in the mood for some Caesar salad. And I bought those pre-made, salad packs like at Walmart and stuff, and they're okay. They're like I said, they're okay. They'll pass. But I live by myself, so do I cook a lot? No. But this morning I just decided I really wanted some Caesar salad, and I have the most phenomenal recipe. If you're into Caesar that you make from scratch, it is the absolute best Caesar salad dressing. If you want the recipe, just put a note in there and I'll send it to you. I've been making it for like 6 or 7 years. It's so good. Okay, so now we've got our journal, right? So how many pages do we have? So we've got panels. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got the 6 there. Now, see, that's why I folded that one in before, 6. And when you flip it over, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 12 panels. How many do we need? 7 plus a back cover and a front cover. That's 8, 9. So we've got 3 extra. So what do I really need then? That's going to be the question. I think we're going to play around. That's how I made that other one work. Okay, well, let's end this. Let me think a little bit more, and then we'll start covering. Before I start covering, I've been sitting here playing. And where in the other one, I turned this over, and then that took up this whole part. Here's what I think I want to do. I think I want to cut this off, and let's take this piece, and let's add it as a flap and make this our cover. So if this becomes the cover, right, then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our 4 Bible verses. Okay. And when I flip it over, 4, and then it'll be 5, 6, 7. And then we just have this extra part. So I think that's what I want to do. Let's just do it before I go any further. Okay, so on this one, we are going to cut this. Oh, of course, it's 9 and it won't fit. Get the big one back out, Diane. We're going to just cut this part off, and then we are going to reuse it as a flap. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and make it exactly the same way. We're not changing the numbers or anything like that. Okay, so now I have this piece. This becomes our cover, right? Yes, and that's going to go over the cover. What if we could come down and make it a point, which would be kind of fun. Oh, wait, maybe we don't do it as a cover. We use this as the cover, which is fine. But over here, we come over here. Oh, what if we made a big flap like that on there? That actually would take up this last space. That would work much better. Let's do that. So let's cut this like in half. Let's cut this one in half. So it's 5, right? So we're going to cut it 2.5. Yeah, Diane, you can do math. Okay, let's cut that. Oh, you know what? Let's cut it. Let's just cut it at 2. That will be 3. I think that would work better. Okay, look at that. See, I'm always making something new. Okay, then we would attach this with a fun hole, and that's where we could stick the Bible study. And then we still have our, okay, I like that. I do like that. Let's do that. Okay. So let's start auditioning our papers. We are going to be aware this is going to have the pocket. So I'm just writing it on there. Why do I write stuff on there? Because as I'm designing, I want to know, wait, which is the part? So this is the cover. So sometimes I start with what is my favorite paper that I want to be on the cover. And that's where I'm going to start with today. So let's look at, this would be so fun with the little girl, right? Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go, oh, but I love this, but I love that, but I love this, but I love that. It's exactly what happens because I created these gorgeous papers. Ooh, now look. See, you have to kind of sit it on here and know that's going to be in the corner. But then we're going to cut all that fun stuff off. So far, that's the number 1 choice. Could we put the butterfly on there? So we could kind of, look, we could do it this way and get the whole butterfly on it. And then this gets cut off about right here. That can work too. Now the other thing that, and again, I'm just teaching you how I think. Okay, so the Unwavering Faith, I like to put the title on the cover. So as I'm auditioning pages, let's go get what that looks like. Here, I've got this version of Unwavering Faith. See, now that would look fun, right? Okay, there's all my Bible verses. I mean, that's the Bible verse cards. What other? We're going to have the numbers. I've got just faith. These are little things. Oh, there's another. See, I knew I did more than one. I usually give you more than one. Oh, see, now that one's pretty too, right? So, oh, and look. Oh, wow. What if we, okay, forget the butterfly. Maybe what we do. Don't forget we have to have a window because this is Faith Windows. What if we get an envelope and would be what's showing through the envelope? Okay, yes, okay. I'm kind of liking that idea. The other parts of where else is the word Wavering Faith is going to be on, where did I just put it, Diane? Okay, I think I really want to go with that. And then, okay, so here's the other place. So I've got a small one here. I've got a small one here. So we've got quite a few. But I'm thinking that this should be the cover. Now, here we go again. Here's what I did with this one. I made this gorgeous cover and put Grace Revealed on it. And then I decided to wrap it. I don't think I'm going to wrap today. You know what I think I'm going to do? I am going to do magnets. And we're going to close this with a magnet. Okay? So if that's the case, I have to have enough room so that you see Unwavering Faith. Because see what happened? This ended up like kind of taking this off balance. And then the minute you put a ribbon around it, you cover up the word. So, I mean, I like it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I learned that afterwards. So, okay. That, I think, is changing my mind. Let me see. That's the Bible study. That can go in there. This is definitely going to be on the cover. So now let's audition papers from that perspective. Because if I put the butterfly on there like that, look, we're going to totally cover up the butterfly. So I don't want to waste the butterfly. Which means if I have a design, it needs to be more down on the bottom. But then look, the flowers are cut off. So see, now once I decided that I do want the word, now see how the different papers are? That now I'm looking from a different eye. Okay, we could do this because then you get a lot of that fun stuff at the top, right? And then we could put that on there. This would kind of get cut off about there, but it doesn't diminish. Okay, that one. See, this is what takes my time. But I want it to be beautiful, so of course I'm going to take my time to do this. So far, that's maybe the best. That's going to just totally get covered up. You're not even going to see it. So we don't want to use that. Okay, we've got this one, but it is not 5. So you're going to get, that's more for a side piece, I think. And then this one, we could do the wings, right? But they're going to get covered up and cut off. Yep, they're going to, so you don't even notice that. Let's save that for something else. Same with the heart and the flower. So if we put the flower, it comes there, and then Unwavering Faith. Nah, I don't really like it. Or we do the heart. Oh, now wait a minute. Look at that. So you're going to see, you'll get the effect of the heart. Oh, no, wait. But then the minute I put that on there, we're going to cut that off too. See, that's going to be on top of it, which I don't want to do. And if I move it up, it's still going to cover it. So that's not the right one either. So we've got the lady, but then you're cutting off her head. See what happens? Why you have to try things? So I think where we're at is these are the 3. And I'm almost pushing for some with the pink on there. And it doesn't really take away. It really draws your eye into there. And then we'll just save this piece. So it's that one. I wish you could talk to me, right? But you can't. That one we decided we didn't want to do that, and we didn't want to do that. So that's definitely a no. So now we're down to the heart with Unwavering Faith on it, which you get the effect of the heart. See, it's going to get wrapped over there. But do I like that line there? Okay, I just realized one of the things I've forgotten to do is remember that I printed these horizontally. And if that's the case, this wonderful page that I love, oh, no, see, it's 8.5, we made it 9, so that won't work. Okay, forget that idea. I was thinking, oh, look. Now, if I'd made it at 8, I could use one of the horizontals, right? No, we're going to save these. We're going to use those in a different way. You know what? I think we're just going to do the heart. I'm going to do the heart, and I'm going to make it work. I say that, and then one more time. This is the last time, Diane. I want some of that pink on there. And I think I like, and that's going to get cut. So there's so much white at the top. Why don't we put it on like that with that? That's it. Stop. Stop auditioning. But now hopefully you'll understand why I audition, right? Now do you get it? Okay, so we decided that's our cover, so let's get our glue stick out. And because I've taken so long showing you how I audition and how to make that, I may have to end up speeding this one up, huh? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put that right at the very edge. Let's see if we can line it up. Let's line it up right. Come on, Diane. See, it's so nice and gluey, which it should be, but I got to get this part over here, right in the right spot. There. Once I get the first one down. So I think here's what I'm going to do. This first video will end with, we'll have the whole book covered. Then I'll do the next video where I'm then embellishing it. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So I'll probably end up speeding this up. Now, the good news is, look, we can just go ahead and wrap that. we could just wrap it. See what I'm saying? Look. Because yes, it's gonna go like that anyway. Why don't we do that? Oh no, because you know what my plan is? I'm putting pockets on the bottom and she'll get totally cut off, which she'll get covered over, which is not what I want. Okay. Now, I'm gonna try and do with tearing because I like the tearing effect. Let's see if I can make it work today. Got that torn. Now let's fold this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy. That's my cover. See why you have to identify which one is your cover first. See why you have to identify what papers you want. See why you want to figure out what you actually want on your cover. You don't want to wait till the very last, because if I put that little girl or something, I'd be covering it up. If I had the flower, now I know that's exactly what I want to have. Okay, so now I'm going to stop talking and we are going to go ahead. We're going to save that beautiful piece and we're just going to start gluing all the papers down. Okey-doke. So let's I've flipped it over, and remember when I wrote the back. So here you go again. I want to think about what do I want on the back. Because I don't want to cover this up, I'm thinking of using this piece right there, right? And then this is the piece that comes over onto the cover. And so I like the music paper beside it, because this isn't wide enough. This is a leftover piece, right? If I put the music paper on there, it actually goes all the way over. And then what we're gonna see on the cover is the music paper. So let's go back and see if that's the way I really want it to look, right? So this is our front. Let's go back over here. So see, so now I'm gonna play and see if that piece would be pretty on it, or does it compete? See how I'm kind of auditioning again? So the pink and the pink are good, they're not great. I know it's upside down, but look at the difference. I think the music paper coming over is much better. So yes, okay. So let's go backwards. So now we're on the back side, and this is why I tell you to write down, okay, what panels are and things like that, so you don't, so you have more control over it and you don't go, oh no, that's the wrong place. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the little girl on the back. All right, I'm gonna put glue over this whole thing, because I already know what I'm gonna do on that part. And it's okay to cover the top, because it's underneath is where the magnet's going to be, okay? So we're gonna put her, line her up exactly where we want her, up against the fold. There we go. And then we're going to take the music paper and we're going to lay that on there. And now the thing is, this is one of the pieces where I was showing you how it got ripped. Because it's ripped, let's use it to our advantage. Let's just go underneath there just slightly. Okay, and number 2, before I let it go back down, let's ink that edge, because I think I'll be happier with it if I have it inked up. And I use scorched timber. The reason I use scorched timber, everybody else uses vintage photo and all that kind of stuff, because it is a black brown. It's really, really dark. So if you're going for the look, which is what I am, of, you know, the edging, I want to use something dark. See how nice that looks now? Oh, yes. See, that was good that it ripped it the first time, because now it's like a little bit softer. Okie dokie, that works. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now let's trim this up. And see, what we put in here is where we're going to put our magnet underneath it. So we're all set now. Magnet's still not dry. Oh, that was so dumb. I could have wrapped it. Well, too late now. Cut most of it. Sometimes you have to stop for a second, but I'm filming, right? So I don't take as much time as I would if I wasn't filming to really think through, oh, if I put this here. I'm trying to show you some of the ways I'm thinking it through, but I guess I didn't think it through all the way that way. Okay, so here we go. We're back here, and now see how nice that looks? That looks really, really good. And then the Unwavering Faith is going to be on there. Yes. Okay, I am happy, happy, happy with that stuff. Now, what are we going to put underneath? Maybe this is where we use this gorgeous piece, because it's underneath. Ooh, I kind of like that. Look how pretty that would look, right? And then this would just flip over. Okay. Okay, let me keep covering, and then I'll come back, because again, my magnets haven't dried, okay? I'm just trimming up the folio. It's looking really good, and it's really easy if you have long scissors, and that's what I'm showing you right there. That's actually a set of 3. There's a link for that in my Amazon shop if you're interested. So I flipped it over, and now I'm putting the papers on the back. And one of the things that I decide to do here is, instead of trimming them to the 5 inches per panel, let's go ahead and use the full width of that page, and we're going to just wrap it. So that's what you see me do now. And then I'm taking those leftover pieces that we cut off from the front of the folio, and now we're fitting those on. And I've decided at that point that I'm just going to ignore where the folds are, that I'm just going to go ahead and glue it all down, and then we can refold it. And right there, I decided, wait, let's look at the pocket. So here, I've picked the paper that I want to be on the pocket, which is going to cover that one end. So I'm just going ahead now and actually adding all the pieces so that we get the whole back of it covered over. And it's working really well. So the leftover pieces ended up working out perfectly, didn't they? So now let's just go ahead and trim all of that up. And I started in the beginning using the tearing with the ruler, but it just raggeded the edges and I wasn't happy. So I went back to the scissors. I think I just need to stick with scissors because I'm a glue and then cut person. Now I'm just refolding it because, as I mentioned, I started wrapping the paper. So now I'm using the bone folder and making sure that I have some really good folds on there. And there we go. Looking pretty good. So please like this video. Please share this video. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. This is going to be an excellent Bible study. We are going to be talking about what is faith? What does it mean to have faith? And what does it mean that God says we are to have unwavering faith, that we are to trust in him? So come along for the next videos in this series, and we will answer those questions and dive deep into unwavering faith.